Josh has had a climber.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Welcome to Cog Talk, a podcast brought to you by Cogstop Productions, home of podcast, tabletop, and geek talk. 12 Years Hollow, the Cog Talk theme, is written and performed by Bear Ghost. To listen to this track and more, check out www.facebook.com/BearGhostAttacks. Hi, welcome to Cog Talk, a Cogstop Productions podcast. I'm Patrick.
Robert.
And I'm Josh.
And I'm Scott.
And welcome to The Place. Today we're at the Choky Chicken.
What is that?
Rocko's Modern Life.
As in a cartoon, so impossible. So we're still in a garage.
Absolutely possible.
Garage.
Nope.
Not
Delicious
Choky
chicken.
No, the Choky Chicken's chicken was not even delicious.
Well,
It was
you
just
gotta
what was
Thinking of
available.
Church's chicken.
Church's chicken is the shiznit.
I've never
That's
had
Popeye's chicken.
Popeye's chicken is the shiznit. I don't care. I'll plug everyone. KFC's. Actually, fuck KFC. I had a really poor experience with them lately.
Was it with the double down?
No, it was not with the double down. Thank God. I went into their restaurant as they were hosing down their kitchen.
Go on.
I've never worked in the food service industry, so it was like maybe 9:30 at night, and all they did was they brought the hose from like the back and just started spraying down the floors inside, and then the guy couldn't like figure out my order. So I ordered like a 3-piece meal, dark meat. And he's sitting there and he's like, well, I only have 2 pieces of dark meat left, so... And he just paused. Like, I had to solve
So it was your solution.
Yeah, I had to solve the fucking problem for him. Like,
Give me a cake.
yeah, I'm like, okay, so what do we do? And he's like, I guess I can give you another piece. I'm like, well, that would be a good thing to do.
Yeah.
So,
But see, I can't like say. How do you that chicken place that runs out of chicken? Because I worked at Hungry Howie's and we ran out of pizza sauce before.
yeah, which is a key ingredient for pizza.
All right, you can have or breadsticks, and that's about it.
We have delicious Parmesan crust with melted cheese. We're just making you a garlicky cheese crisp.
That's when you use the Alfredo sauce as pizza sauce and just say everything
Hungry
is
Howie's.
specialty.
There's none of that fancy stuff. No Alfredo sauce.
And as for hosing down the kitchen with a hose, that's completely normal.
Is it normal?
It is.
Yeah, then they do like a push broom kind of thing, and everything goes out the back door.
They spray everything down, let it sit, grab a scrubber for anything that needs to be scrubbed, and get one of those squeegee brooms and push everything out the back door or to the drain.
See, that thing just seems completely unsanitary to me because it was
Yeah.
like literally the hose from the back.
Yeah.
From outside in the back?
Yes.
Oh, that's...
Yeah, like if they were like spraying like chemical or like foam or shit like that, and I would not have a problem with that because foam to me says clean for some reason.
Well, yeah, when I was working at Pizza Hut, we would take a hose. We had a hose designated for spraying down the kitchen, and we would go out to the kitchen, spray it down, take it back into the back of the kitchen, squirt some chemical shit, and then scratch.
So there seems to like there should be a better way to do this shit. Matter of fact, that actually gets into our first topic today. What are your disappointments? Like this 2014, we're past most of the year in most movies where awesome stuff is supposed to happen. We're supposed to have and this is a cliche, if anyone cites this one, you can fuck yourself in the face. Hoverboard, skateboards and shit like that. This is supposed to be the year, or we've already passed it, that we're supposed to get this kind of stuff. So, what are some things that you are disappointed that we don't have yet that's been in movies or like in pop culture, things like that? Rob, let's start off with you.
Oh, hold on. Josh wanted to jump in first.
Josh, go.
Prisoners that knit when they're angry.
The
What movie is that?
Demolition Man. Stallone gets this programming during the deep freeze for his
Yeah, come on. You don't remember this part?
subconscious. So every time he's angry, he has to knit. Basically, he's pre-programmed for that as his solution to his anger is to knit.
So
So
is it
Pavlovian training.
okay? I was gonna say, is it strictly like crocheting criminals, or is it like, are you using that just as a funny way of saying like being able to reprogram like, a prisoner?
crocheting criminals.
Okay, just making. I just want to see how specific it was.
would like a doily made by, Slasher McFace Smasher.
Slasher mix face smasher.
He meant Lorena Bobbitt.
Okay, there you go.
No.
I was gonna.
Nothing from
Not
her.
Lorena Bobbitt.
Nothing from Lorena Bobbitt.
I say, there's probably a crocheting pro wrestler that has a name similar to that can help you out with that.
Mine is unfortunately from the same movie, so it doesn't sound as unique. But the main complaint is that we're still wasting all of this resource that could be going towards something else. I don't know. I'm not a tree hugger, so I don't know what else's valuable resource could be going to other than paper. But toilet paper. We're still using massive amounts. Well, at least I am. I don't know about everyone else, but I use a lot, okay?
Yeah.
And when I could be doing all of this, I don't know if it would be more work or less work, but with 3 seashells instead of toilet paper the whole time.
Are you talking about wiping your ass with a seashell?
3 of them. I don't know how it works. 'Cause
It's a 3-shell method, and they never explain it in Demolition Man.
Do you think
but
that-
it's an alternative.
Do you think that people online have made how the 3 shells would work?
Of course they have.
Yeah, it's the internet.
I'm really curious what they think that they're because the only thing that I can think of is one is a rinse cycle and one's a dry cycle, and I guess the third one's a buff.
See, I would picture I don't know, like castanets almost. One's a pinching kind of scrapey thing, and then the last one is just a squeegee. I don't know.
Your shells sound way nastier than I could ever think of.
I don't know. I don't know how they're used.
No one knows.
It's a red herring.
Yeah, that was the whole problem the entire time. The opposite of a red herring, but Wesley Snipes was just slightly shaking the foundation. It's actually the guys that make the 3 shells that have infiltrated every aspect of life.
No one really knows how to use them. They just sell them to everyone. Everyone has them in their house.
But then you get the pompous thing of oh yeah, you don't know how to use the 3 shells.
Oh, yeah, everyone's like that. So nobody
And
says they don't know how to use it.
No one shits in the future. I gotta say for mine, I'm kind of disappointed that our fashion style hasn't gone to the Mass Effect all sleek uniform looking thing. We still got denim. Denim's been around for fucking ever. We don't have a
It's
new
awesome.
Yeah, well, yeah, denim. Don't get me wrong. Jeans are the best thing that have been made for pants, but we haven't gone above jeans yet.
That's because we haven't passed the Ruby Rod outfits from Fifth Element stage of the future.
Unbelievable.
I would totally rock a Ruby Rod outfit.
Leopard print suit
Yes, if it was as comfortable or more comfortable than denim
and super green.
and super green. What about you, Scott?
And
No, I'm looking up the 3-shell method.
That's cheating.
I haven't seen Demolition Man in years. I had to look it up, and apparently Sandra Bullock has explained something, and I don't
That bitch
understand.
doesn't know
it.
what she's talking about.
She's saying that you have number 1, number 2 clean up, and then you can use the shells as musical instruments.
Scott, for the record, as the only black man on this podcast, she made The Blind Side. She was in The Blind Side.
Never saw it.
Are you going to trust the woman that adopted a big black guy to be her strong football player? I've never seen the movie either. I just assumed that was what it was from the cover.
He's got a severe handicap.
No.
Being...
Where the fuck is my lightsaber?
That's your argument?
Yeah, that would be your argument.
that's not future tech.
Uh-oh. Showdown.
You really want to get into this?
Let's do it.
All right. What is your argument for it is not future tech?
The best one I've heard so far after the kitchen fight, that the moment it enters our universe, it becomes current tech.
Except for the fact that there is technology inside of it that we do not yet have. Therefore,
The
The
it
moment we
itself-
have it, the moment it is within our grasp, we have said technology.
Future tech ceases to be future tech when it is in the present.
No, it ceases to be future tech when you can recreate it.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
You have
That's
to be
like
able to
saying that-
produce what it is. Otherwise, you just have.
Time out. Is your cell phone future tech, Scott, because you can't make it?
Are we going with literal terminology?
I figure I would for the sake of a fight.
Fuck you, you know what I'm talking about.
I
was
know
totally worth it.
countries that can't reproduce your phone.
But mankind
As a
can,
whole?
as a whole can.
So you're saying that if a lightsaber appeared, it would take us hundreds of years as a whole
What?
to go
No. I'm not saying
how to make
it would
it.
take hundreds of years. I'm saying until we could perfectly reproduce the lightsaber as it was given to us, it would be considered future tech.
But that just means that anything that's proprietary information is future tech because mankind as a whole can't produce it.
What if there's one guy in a basement right now that has made like the perfect lightsaber and just refuses to share it with everyone?
Then it's not future tech, and fuck that guy, I want one.
Let's face it. If
So
you,
you're admitting that you're wrong because it's not
Yeah.
future tech if one guy can make it.
If he has it,
Can you prove
I
that someone doesn't?
guarantee you no one in this world has a perfectly working lightsaber.
How
I
can
can guarantee
how?
you 100%. How?
How?
Because we haven't
you in some
perfected
sort of
crystal
branch of the-
technology yet.
You're in some sort of branch of the military that we haven't heard of.
are we glossing over the whole "a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away" argument, where they specifically say "a long time ago"?
We are not getting into that because
We've
fuck
had
you
that
guys.
argument.
We had that argument, and
you
you're
lost that one too.
stupid. You guys are only arguing with me so that I'm wrong, even though you know that I'm right.
No?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I'm
Every-
arguing purely because I believe you're wrong.
I'm not arguing for any side. Personally, I think it would be shitty to have the first lightsaber because
Well,
you
yeah,
know
because you wouldn't understand that.
What the hell was that?
that was a leftover martini glass from my lovely girlfriend Stephanie.
What most people don't understand about a lightsaber is the most dangerous thing about it isn't that it can cut through anything and cauterize shit. It's that the blade doesn't have weight. Therefore, it's way easier to cut yourself with it.
Yeah, and like being the first guy to like test it out in the prototype phase, people are going to be missing fucking limbs, like easily, just lobbing off their own hand, like doing that like that stupid little hand thing against the table.
The knife game.
Completely fucking up the table.
Yeah, vroom, vroom, slash. Oh man, I'm missing a finger and I ruined my dinette set.
So, but just for the record, it is past tech. Passing on.
Yes, that's it.
I think that's what we did.
It
That's
is-
what the
no,
final
it
is.
is
That
not-
was the final consensus as he stormed out of the room, upset. Like he was
Not
about to take
upset.
the
Well,
initiative
when
ever.
he just admitted that it's current tech if one guy knows how to build it.
Exactly. So,
He-
so it's current tech in
He
this
can-
scenario.
if we were in court, he could not prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that one of those does not exist already. Because you haven't
Yes, I
met every
can.
single person
Yes,
in
I
every
can.
single nook and cranny of the world.
But I can tell you that
What
with,
you've read on the internet.
with
Yes,
the
you
way
can.
that the mechanics of lightsabers and how they work, no one has
You're
it because the
assuming
crystals.
you have a grasp on the technology necessary.
The base, listen, the base part of the technology is crystals. We don't have crystal tech yet.
Yeah.
That is bullshit. There's hundreds of shops in Sedona with crystals all over the fucking
Yeah, what about the
place.
fucking hippies that are using crystals as deodorant? That's
Yeah.
like one step below a
I said
lightsaber.
crystal tech, technology. You dumb fuckers.
It's not technology. It's putting a special light through a crystal.
Yeah, Pink Floyd
That's
did
it.
that years ago.
I heard those shows were really fun.
Dear listeners, I want to remind you that on our website, Geek Talk is specifically put on the homepage. So if you don't like this, go fuck yourself.
I think we all need to go to Flagstaff.
Right
now.
Scott's taking weird threats. Speaking of weird threats and other disappointments, Scott,
like Scott.
Fuck you. Guys.
I'm sorry for the segue. I'm sorry, I didn't know what I was doing. So we talked about disappointments. What's one thing that you're thankful from the future kind of movie setting hasn't happened yet? Like mine would definitely be giant bugs haven't started invading Earth and killing us and like chopping us in half, much like Starship Troopers.
Yeah. That's,
They nuke us with a meteor first, though.
Ah, fuck those guys. Kick their bug asses.
And
I know I totally picked like a horrible movie to go with, but
we kicked them in the brain
that
bug.
works.
Skynet. Skynet's probably a good solid one.
Yeah.
Skynet not being active yet.
The singularity.
AKA Google, we're watching you. Or rather, they're watching us
both.
all the time.
Two separate things, the singularity.
Yeah,
and
no. It's
That's
In-
collective consciousness made hole.
We're
Yes.
onto your Chromecast.
What if instead of Google was actually Bing this whole time, like just sitting there waiting, like they're
It'd
gonna
be really
think I'm
easy
an
to
inferior.
roll over all the hate from what's already existent in Bing to them being bad guys.
Yeah,
Bing just would be like, once it achieves sentience, it would just be pissed off at its
And no one
role
would
in
have
the
seen it
universe.
coming because everyone just laughs at Bing.
Yeah,
like
and
in the
that's
Bing
why it would
commercials
go
where they're
evil.
like, this percentage of people, which is more than 50%, like Bing more than Google. Everyone just kind of goes, and that's it. They're sandbagging it the whole time.
yeah, like they're sitting there intentionally in not the limelight, not first place, and they're like, oh, don't
Exactly.
worry, soon. The perfect disguise is no disguise at all. You were saying?
Oh, I was saying the singularity. The one thing I'm happy that has not happened yet is the singularity.
Like a black hole
No,
singularity?
the singularity is along the same lines as AI. Josh, you had explained it perfectly.
It's instead of a singular intelligence with like Skynet, is basically collective intelligence made into a whole.
So like 1,000 Skynets.
1,000 little Skynets make Super Skynet.
So like
Isn't that
They're
still the
basically
same-
the exact same thing, except how they get there.
A good example is iRobots. If each of those little robots had their own mind and weren't being controlled by the main one, then they all come together in the net and become one. That is the singularity. They are sharing information at the speed of fucking
Super consciousness.
yeah,
That
faster than
same
anything
thing.
we can
you
imagine.
just went up a scale.
Yeah.
it's-
They're really not all that different. It's just
Yeah.
that how they got there. Which Skynet had
You're,
no
you're
robots
just
on the
Skyneting
ground.
again.
Yeah. It's Skynet with 1,000 other Skynets.
So a really big Skynet.
so instead of being like Google and Bing, it's more like BitTorrent.
Yes. That's exactly what it would be.
I now understand.
Yeah, good
Thank you, internet piracy.
That you never took part of, right?
And Google, we never did that.
But
Ever.
NSA.
Skynet is less likely to happen than a singularity. Having one artificial intelligence become that powerful is a lot more difficult
Watson.
than 1,000. Watson.
Fuck that. All you need to do is like on a base level is turn iPhones evil and you pretty much killed half the population.
yeah.
Like we all have like our one
They already
thing.
tried to do that with their map function.
That was the
Turn
testing
right
phase.
here, and it's like a cliff or a bridge.
That was the testing phase. They're seeing if they killed a small population, if we would still go back to them. And we have. They're going to start taking out bigger and bigger chunks of us.
Yeah. And it's going to get even worse with the purchase of said awesome VR item.
Oh, yes. Oculus Rift
Yes.
and Facebook.
Facebookular Rift.
Ugh. Before we jump on that topic, did you have one, Josh, like one thing from the future one thing from the future setting that you're happy hasn't happened yet? That's great. We're going to move on to the
sex
Oculus
bots.
Rift.
Yeah, I'm really set with like what we have.
Like you're content. You're like, fuck it, graphics.
Yeah, but anytime because it's all uphill. Every time we see the future, it just seems to go downhill. Like, I'm happy there's no new Detroit.
I'm not even happy that there's a current Detroit right now.
But New Detroit's worse. Because that means they built it again and failed a second time.
So you're happy that you haven't had to escape from Detroit or LA
Absolutely.
or New York?
You had to make
Yeah.
one of those references, didn't you?
No.
Is there an Escape from Detroit?
There is an Escape from Detroit. Detroit
it-
was
Is
referenced.
it the third one?
Oh. I don't think they made a movie of that one.
Oh, okay.
I think it was just referenced in the movies that he did that once for Detroit also.
Yeah. Very
So-
happy.
I'm content. Whatever.
Yeah, he's like, life is good. He's like, I got my donuts,
He's
I
just
got
the-
my Xbox, I'm all set.
He's the dude. The Josh abides.
The Josh abides.
Don't give me that kind of authority.
No, it's the best
It's the
authority.
absence of authority
Exactly.
and responsibility.
I was going to say the Josh abides. So this is probably old news by now, but Facebook bought Oculus Rift.
Yes, they did.
Unfortunately,
Yep. So
Damn you,
it's going to be either very like lucrative future, because let's face it, Facebook just seems to generate money out of nothingness, or it's going to be a very poor future, because I think that Oculus Rift is going to be abused. So I want to know your guys' idea.
Use guys.
I want to know you guys' ideas for the Oculus Rift and Facebook and future of social networking and the such. Go.
Me.
You.
Rifter, the new social network with VR technology.
That's already sounds like the saddest, loneliest thing that I can.
It very much is. You have your microtransactions because you ask somebody out on a date and you go on your little virtual date and you buy them, the little beret or whatever and fancy colors and the flowers.
Pausing you. The phrase "virtual date" is already horrific to me.
Don't
like-
people do that in WoW already?
Yeah.
But
Just
that
wow.
I don't know.
But no. Now you have an avatar that you are controlling with your mind. I forgot the word, but it's virtual reality. You can see things instead of looking at a screen. You see them like it's right there.
I'm just picturing Gamer and that 400-pound dude dunking waffles into syrup and eating them while playing that like live action MMO.
Yeah, just remember that when you're using a little microtransaction on that beret that you were talking about, is that there's some hog of a guy shoving donuts down his gullet the whole time, just like, I'm so pretty. I don't know why, like he suddenly turned into Lumpy Princess for a second.
I would not use Oculus Rift for that. If Rifter came out like that, I would use it for like D&D. I would go in, design the world, and then bring in the party to D&D, and then I'm the fucking sun. And I get to control everything.
And every now and then you like spin around and then you try and dive bomb them.
Yep.
Yes.
Angry face.
Yep. Big angry sun. What about you, Josh? Do you have like anything on this that you think that would just be fucking awful?
Nope, still content.
That doesn't
Like,
exist.
if the future goes that way, I guess it goes that way.
I have no real hope for it now that it's been bought by an individual company like Facebook. Not
Yeah.
saying that Facebook doesn't make money and it, isn't associated with things that make money.
It's just out of its element.
It's out of its element, and it's not like this hasn't happened before. We've had tons of instances of companies buying projects and the
And
rights to objects,
And mothballing them.
and mothballing them so they never come out.
Oof.
Like you
They even
bastards
do
with
that
the
with
car that
movies.
runs on water.
Yeah.
They even do that with movies.
Runs on water, man.
If I'm having that 70s show,
Isn't-
flashbacks.
Isn't there another VR system though? Like Oculus Rift got bought by Facebook, but
PlayStation's got their own that they're developing.
PlayStation has one, but there was another one that when
Yeah.
Oculus Rift was announced, there was another one that wasn't.
Yeah,
Sony.
some Japanese inventor came up with it, and it just got mothballed by I think Sony.
I think MySpace bought that
mothballed
one.
again.
MySpace buying something. Don't be silly.
It's weird to think about that the companies are doing this and then maybe try and attribute some like moral high ground that people aren't ready for this
Well,
kind of thing.
okay,
These giant companies having the moral ground of
I can
saying-
see why Japan wouldn't because they've got that anime SAO, Sword Art Online.
That's not even new.
I know it's not new,
That
but
concept is not even new.
It's not,
We did
but-
it way before anime was really a big thing here with Lawnmower Man.
I was just about to say Lawnmower Man, but fuck you for getting the punch before I did.
there are things that can make someone scared about the virtual reality.
Yes, but as a company deciding to put it in a box to never open and deciding how humanity advances and what we experience, it kind of really blows.
I can just see the picket
Welcome-
lines already around like GameStops or whatever happens to be around when those come out with like the God hates lag signs.
Oh, fucking excellent. Oh, well, too bad that won't happen because somebody in that church is dead.
Was his funeral picketed?
No.
People actually didn't protest?
Yeah, because we're better than him.
Well, yeah, we're living. We're on the right side of the roses, as my grandfather would say.
And then followed by something incredibly racist.
Yeah, always. We're on the right side of the roses. Fuck Asian people. I get to say that. I mean, he's fucking.
No, like, which grandfather?
I don't
The
know.
Asian one.
Yeah, the Asian one. That's the funniest part.
I don't know, the thank God this hasn't happened thing is, I mean, obviously, whether we like it or not, the Oculus Rift has been bought by Facebook, and they're gonna try to fucking do something with it. And I just think that the shit that Facebook does already, that people complain about, is gonna be so much more worse when it's like
When you have to actually
in front of
like
your eye,
something.
it's like in your eyes, basically.
We changed the way that you look through things.
Yeah, or ads, just ads.
Oh.
Getting teabagged by Cialis pills.
Now, there's a smart way to do ads in this kind of setting with the Oculus Rift, and there's a poor way of doing ads. Like I can guess what you're saying is that like just
Like just the
pop-up
bottom
window.
of your vision, like the bottom eighth of your vision is just
Ticker
filled up.
tape
Yeah.
like CNN
or just
C-SPAN.
pops up every now and again and then goes away and then pops up. Yeah, like kind of like CNN. Or,
Yeah. See,
Sports
now,
Center.
the smart way of doing it would be billboards, like advertisements in the game that when you're looking around, you can see like, oh, you know, there's a Coke poster right here. That's kind of cool. Haha, I want a Coke. But like, I can definitely see what you're saying, where they, like the annotations on like a YouTube video or something like that. They make the pop-up video noise
Yeah,
too.
it's Futurama all over again. Ads, and then they're being attacked by these ads that act like birds and are trying to, pick them up and fly off with them.
See, my worst fear with the Oculus Rift and social networking is already on Twitter, we've gotten some followers that have just been porn bots. And all they are is just like a random like program that's like, oh, hey, how you doing? My name is blah, blah, blah. You should do blah, 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 blah. Check out my website. And like you go to a website and you get something fucking awful. I can't imagine like an evolved version of that for the Oculus Rift. Like you're playing a multiplayer game with your friends and then like, I don't know, the hot chick comes in on your date simulator and it's like, hey, you should go out with me. It's like, oh, okay, you should make a microtransaction. It's like, okay. And then it's like, hey, all your money's gone from your bank. And then like log out or something like that. Like just some fucking dick move. Because since it's a piece of technology, people are going to fuck with you through it.
Yeah.
Like they do it through your Xbox Live chat. They do it through the forums, message boards, Twitter, Facebook. It's going to happen, and now it's going to be in your face.
Hey, see who's been looking at your Oculus Rift profile.
Exactly. See who's been checking out your Rifter.
I just came up with something that I think should be able to happen within our timeline, within our lifespan.
If you say lightsaber again, I swear to God, Scott, I will
No,
skull
I'm not
fuck you.
going
It's already
lightsaber.
happened. We moved up past
The
it.
Yeah, we won.
contact
Yeah, we did.
lenses that give you a HUD. They will give you a heads-up display.
I totally misheard that, and I thought you said give you a hug. I'm like, why would you need a?
I've
I heard-
but I get the heads up display.
Yeah, they get the HUD, altered vision like zooming, night vision, no X-ray because people are pervs.
Well,
But-
then it would probably give
Night
you
vision's okay,
cancer
though,
of the
whatever.
eyes.
Yeah.
Considering that it would be on your eyeball and you have fucking X-ray vision. I mean, come on.
I'm just saying. There are things that I think it would be awesome with. I mean, could you imagine having a HUD right now, having your contact lenses in, and being able to have up your Twitter feed, your Facebook, everything for
I
college
just want to make a
Stop.
point here that none of you fucks actually wear contact lenses besides me.
I can't wear contact lenses right now.
Well,
I
then what do
have-
you care about it coming out that technology?
Because
then?
in 2 years, when my eyes stop forming, I can wear contact lenses.
eyes are forming.
Constantly shifting because I have really bad astigmatism. The doctor estimated that by the time I'm 27, they'll have stopped and
He'll be
Settled.
They'll be cute.
I'll be able
Finally
to get
grown
contacts.
into your eyeballs.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because you can't see him right now. His eyeballs are abnormally huge.
Right.
You mean tiny?
No, he's going to grow into the eyeballs. They're already huge.
Now I'm just picturing that the black chick that was in everything from the 90s that can do the eye bulge thing.
Oh god.
Picturing the old guy from Armed and Dangerous video game.
There
Your
you
water, sir.
But I don't think that I'd like that. Give me a second. I can come up with an argument for it.
The argument
ETA
that,
till poop.
Well, that and one, like, I have the movie and it's a shitty movie. Like, I'm sorry, Robin Williams, but I did not enjoy this movie. Final Cut.
Oh yeah.
where they can record the memories and stuff like that. And how easy would it be to have something in a lens like that just record everything that you've seen? And then, worst of all, if someone made a montage of my life right now, I would say that a majority of the montage would be like, I woke up in the morning, I went to work, it was great, I came home, and I masturbated.
I like how
That would actually be
you deliberately left out all the other masturbation scenes.
Well, yeah, I
you
got
did
to work,
edit
I
them.
masturbated, I
Yeah.
went out to lunch at work, I masturbated in the car. But no, like, it just the thought of, like, that abuse of technology in my face.
That
like,
would be
literally
a lot
in-
more difficult as a contact lens, though, because that was a camera in Final Cut. That was
You're
a camera.
operating as a HUD, which means it's taking biometrics.
It also has Wi-Fi because it's connected to your Twitter, X-ray, and Zoom capabilities, but it cannot have a fucking record.
It has to be able to see something. You would essentially have to connect a camera to it because it's not connected to your eyes, as in the sense that it would record what your eyeball is seeing. So you'd have to put a camera on it.
Time out, this is already a fantasy situation to begin with, Scott. Mine can have a fucking camera if it wants.
You're thinking too hard about this. It doesn't have to record whatever the
So
eyeball
it can
is
have a
seeing. It's just-
display.
It's pointed and it just records.
But not a
forward.
camera. You would not put a camera in the contact lens.
You know what? Fuck you.
Well, then you can't put a battery in it, and it can't do any of the other shit
Nope.
anyway.
Nope. Stopping. Plug. You want your things on here when I'm getting pissed off at Scott? Why don't you? God damn. It's the
You know
most
what?
angry
I'm just
plug
gonna
ever.
shut you the hell up and promote somebody.
Yeah.
Hey, look at that. He stopped again.
So, if you want your item, your
second
product
one in a
to sponsor us, to be on this podcast, to
shut
be in
Scott
this
the
spot
fuck
right
up.
up, to shut Scott up,
Bring it on.
go ahead and send us an email at the emails start with W's. With cogstopproductions at gmail.com. Fuck you, Scott.
Fuck
Next
you, Pat.
topic.
Next topic. What's our next topic?
Yeah, I forgot
oh,
that's me.
wise
Yeah.
leader. Someone else laughed at that.
All right. So, since we've been talking about movies a little bit in the beginning, I want to know, everyone's up for debate, everyone's got their favorites. What is, in your mind, the worst movie death that you can think of on the spot? Like, up front, I'm calling it right now, Big Trouble in Little China.
If you
And it's the
steal
fact,
mine.
I'm going to do it, it's the fact that Lo Pan gets killed by a fucking throwing knife by Kurt
Okay,
Russell.
so you didn't steal mine. Same movie, different death.
But it's the, he's like 1,000-year-old sorcerer or wherever the fuck he was. He needed the girl with the green eyes, and he got 2 of them. So hey, lucky him. And like after getting into the big magic beam laser show with the grandpa from Three Ninjas,
Yeah.
Great movie, by the way.
he gets killed by a throwing knife from Kurt Russell, who's just like a truck driver.
But he's the truck driver.
Oh yeah,
You know,
he's
the
the
chosen
Don't get
one.
me wrong. Like he was the fucking man in that movie. But it's a shitty way for someone of that power to go down.
The chosen one. However he defeats him is
Yeah.
how he defeats him. He's just destined to defeat him.
But can you imagine if like other chosen ones did something like that? Where like think about Neo and it's like, he's the chosen one. He's the one that's gonna save us all. And then like he just like
Throws a
ran
taser
up and threw like a Coke can
at the
at
machines.
one machine, and like it hit another machine, and then those 2 crashed together and blew up everything. What if
That'd be a better movie.
No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. No, it
I
wouldn't.
like the machine gun things? The little exoskeleton machine gun guys.
Oh, I'm talking more about like the end of the War of Machines, not it'll just happen again in another few hundred years when you forget about this.
Yeah, shit happens. You said you had another one from that movie, Scott?
Yes. Now, mind you, it's been forever and a week since I've seen it, but it is the scene where the dude gets so angry that he explodes, that his head pops. He's sitting there trying to go Super Saiyan. Ah! Has all the time in the world he needs to kill people, and then his head goes pop.
You're talking about one of the Elemental brothers, right? The one
Yeah.
that was just like expanding. I guess he was like expanding himself or something like that. Was that his power? Like he just sucked in air and got bigger?
You maybe
It was
powering
something
up.
like
I don't know.
I don't know. I
Well, no.
know there's a badass lightning one, and then there was the guy that blew himself up.
It may be that he was trying to blow himself. Like I said, I haven't seen it in
Yeah,
so
maybe he was
long,
trying to,
but
like,
he expanded his
suffocate them
body
all,
and just.
like-
It was.
That's pretty awful.
Yeah, that's the worst death I can think of.
Yeah. You know, it's the worst. You know, it's an even more like awful death. Listening to you and your stupid fucking ideas about whatever the last topic was.
My contact lenses are awesome.
Yes, contact lenses are awful.
They were awesome.
They were awful ideas. Josh, your turn.
Original definition for awful was good. So thank you. Josh, your idea.
That's past
Yeah,
technology.
we've moved on past that. Mine is how the dad dies in the road. Because not only is that whole movie awful,
That
it's
movie's
just like,
so fucking.
oh, I have an infection. And that's it. There was no... I was taught in my English class when it comes to stories, there's this rising action, and a climb and a fall. There was none of that. It was straight boredom. I cannot hate a movie more than I hate the road.
Josh, when writing a story, what is a clima?
It's the thing before the axe.
It's a premature climax. You get to the clima and then you get the climax.
All
And
right.
a disappointed other person.
A disappointed reader. But I agree with you. The road was such like a bleak and just depressing movie. Like I know that I saw it on Netflix. You saw it in theaters. You actually paid. I feel so sorry for you. To summarize the movie, spoiler alert. Turn it off now if you don't want to know this movie. If you don't,
Fuck it, you're listening.
I'm gonna say if you don't care about it, here you go. Guy has a son. It's bad times, kind of post-apocalyptic. Guy pretty much wanders around with his son, trying to teach him how to be a man, and then dies. Meanwhile, there's another family following them the entire time from a distance who adopt the son.
And try to take the gun bullet.
I wish I can give you more about the movie besides some of the subplot crap. That's all the movie was. It was just 2 hours of depression.
Yeah, it was the least exciting post-apocalyptic movie ever.
The only worse death than the infection, in my mind, would have been dysentery. Like if we went out Oregon Trail style.
Your whole
What's the
party
name of
has
that
a
place
contracted
again?
dysentery.
Oregon Trails. Fuck you. I will say words as I please.
Oregon Trail.
You got
Oregano
corrected me on
trails.
Climax, so fuck you.
Yeah.
Hey, I didn't jump on you for Clima. Scott did.
You assisted.
Yeah. Scott
Yeah,
jumped
I
all over
came-
your climax.
I came in for the little. I wanted my little 1 point.
No.
I heard that, Rob.
Like mine, as far as I don't have a whole lot of like movie deaths. Like, oh, that was disappointing. Because anytime somebody dies in movies, it's either cool or it was expected or like it had it coming.
Or a shock factor.
The ones that I was coming across in my mind were the ones that were like, why? Like, why? That could have been so easily avoided. Like the one from The Other Guys with The Rock and Samuel L. Jackson. The Aim for the Bushes scene. Have you seen that movie?
Yes.
They just jump on some guys zip line safely off of a building and they just go, aim for the bushes. And they jump off the roof with no bushes anywhere in sight. And they just die.
They were too awesome to live. I'm sorry, but if there was a movie that actually teamed up The Rock and Sam Jackson, I would be watching that movie every fucking day on my X-ray contact lenses.
It would break so many box office records.
Yeah, you don't even have to have a title for the movie. Just The Rock, Samuel Jackson,
In
bye.
some shit. Yeah, no, just, I mean,
Well, then let's go the opposite way. Then let's go with what do you think would be like one of your best deaths? Like one of the deaths that you saw on screen that were like, yeah, then just had you pumped when it happened.
well, obviously the main one that comes to mind is Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Big
If
spoiler
you haven't
alert.
watched it yet, that's your own fucking fault.
Actually, technically pre-spoiler alert because we all know that people die in Game of Thrones. But
Yeah.
now,
No.
which death are you talking about? You had your chance to jump off.
The only death that really matters in Game of Thrones. Anybody that's read the books or watched the movies, doesn't matter. The one person you're waiting for to die, for even if it's just one page,
The dragon.
feels like for fucking ever.
Yes, the dragon.
Joffrey,
Come on.
King Fuckface,
Ah.
Joffrey Baratheon,
But see, I feel bad for him because he's...
Lannister, Baratheon,
Baratheon.
Lannistian.
That's something like
He just has his name, all right.
Yeah.
I feel like bad for that actor because I wonder if that's going to be like one of those things that people are like, "Fuck you."
Yeah, I just see him like everyone else. Like someone sees, Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad, and they're like, "Yo, bitch," and he's cool with it.
Yeah,
but
well,
when they
that's
see-
something positive to
but
be
then they
associated
see-
with.
They see Joffrey, and they're just like, "You're a cunt."
Oh man,
He's a good sport about it, though.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, that so long as he's taking it in stride, I would feel horrible if this like ruined him for life.
So those like Obama hope posters? It's like red and blue. There's one of him as Joffrey, and it just says "cunt" underneath instead of hope. And
Nice.
he's holding it up like, like that's cool.
Okay, cool. So I don't keep up with Game of Thrones or any of the backing of it.
Right.
So I'm just really glad to hear that he's like completely on board with what's going on.
Another thing is that he's getting out of acting. Now that he's done playing Joffrey, he's going to stop acting for a while, go to school. He's
He
gonna
probably
get-
made enough.
Yeah, definitely. But he's going to school, and then he'll decide later if he wants to come back to acting.
He will. They all come back, or they try to. Corey Feldman. Quit it.
Stop it. No.
You'll wind up like the other Corey soon enough.
Oh. Josh, quick, go. Scott.
That I was excited for, really? Yeah, I don't
Cohagen. Sorry.
Give these people.
Can't really think of one that I was like, yeah, except for Joffrey's death.
Well,
That's
it could be
just another-
cinematic the way that it happened too.
Josh has had a climber.
Fifth Element. I can't remember who plays the villain that isn't the giant space blob.
Gary
John
Oldman.
Baptiste.
Gary
Emmanuel
Oh, not
Zorg.
Gary Oldman. That wasn't Gary Oldman.
Yeah, it was Gary Oldman.
was
John
Zorg?
Baptiste Emmanuel Zorg.
Nice. Okay.
Yes. Gary Oldman's death at the end of the Lost in Paradise thing after that big
in
music
Paradise.
bit, basically music following the fight and everything. And then it just ends with him just staring at the bomb as it clicks back on.
See, if all opera could have,
Actually, does the bomb click back on? Is
No,
that
it
what
was
happens?
a second bomb.
Yeah,
Oh,
the other guy.
Yeah, the bomb in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, he disarms it, and then one of the goons just triggers a second bomb.
Mandalores.
Oh, I said goon as in like a rank of guy, not like they were like goons, like they were goonies or something like that. So, what about you, Scott? What's your best death?
Yes, all opera should
I
end with a bang.
honestly don't have one. I cannot think of
Oh,
a death
you-
that I was just like,
Death tease.
I don't have one. How is that a tease? I can't
Okay.
think of anything that
Because
was
it's your
just
turn and we all
awesome.
waited for you.
Let me redo this one for you. Then I'll give you mine first, and it wasn't one that I was like anticipating through the movie that I wanted to see, but it's one that as soon as it happened, I was very happy, and that has to be Sin City, when Yellow Bastard gets killed by
Hardigan.
Hardigan a second time. I was just gonna say Bruce Willis, but I said the character of the first
Equal
one.
badass, yeah.
But yeah, when just that whole lineup, I disarmed him of his weapon. Both of them. That was one of those moments in the movie where it's like, yeah. It was just a very well done scene, in my opinion, and
A
just
lot of those deaths were satisfying, though.
oh, in the movie, yes, absolutely. I can't wait for the second one.
Yeah.
because it's right around the corner. It's
Oh,
gonna
the
be so
teaser
good.
trailer. Oh, if you haven't seen it yet, you're missing one of the greatest climbers that you can get right now.
Yes, I climb into my pants.
All right.
So after that qualification, Scott, do you have a death?
Yes. And it's from Watchmen.
No, okay.
It's the I don't know if that qualifies for a spoiler alert, but Rorschach's death.
Oh, it's got to,
Mis-
man.
When
The feels.
yeah,
on
when Manhattan
Rorschach's.
just and then his blood, the
Blammo.
goo, and everything is in the shape of his mask. Oh, that was probably the most aesthetically pleasing death I have ever seen on the big screen.
Oh, but it was so unexpected, and you didn't want. I don't know. That's the answer for both the best and worst deaths.
Yeah, like there's something that you just get those fucking mixed feelings about, where
You're
it's like that
"Oh,
was
no, I didn't
awesome.
want him to die, but it couldn't have ended any other way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have been less of a movie.
Yeah, like there's some deaths in movies that I just have to bring this up while we're on the topic that are absolutely like pointless. One I will say right off the bat is, what was that Will Smith movie of vampires?
I Am Legend.
They weren't
I Am Legend?
vampires.
Which is a remake.
They were
of
vampires.
Omega-Man.
Like they were vampire-esque. Like, well, isn't it in
no,
the real book that they are vampires?
Yeah, in
Yeah.
the real book, Omega Man, yes.
Yeah. But that whole, like, grenade death scene was, like, so unnecessary.
There's an alternate one.
Yes, and that one was worse,
Yes.
in my opinion. But it's like the whole, like, it was one of those things where it's like they just sat there and, like, okay, he has to die a heroic way. How does he do it? He runs out with a grenade. You get what I'm saying? It's like, oh, you know, Will Smith has to be, like, the big sacrificial hero. And it was just like,
As if he's
why?
as
Like,
if
why did he suddenly turn dumb at the movie? Why did they suddenly, like, go into, like, frantic zombie mode? And it's just like, I fucking hate
As
that.
horrible as that is, the writers for that still outwrote the writers that were employed for the final season of Dexter.
Oh, yeah. Spoiler alert, because everyone's on Netflix now, but I heard you physically get pissed off at that.
It was-
like, from the other room.
Everyone told me. I knew it was coming. I didn't know what it was, but I knew it was going to be the worst ending to any series ever, and it was.
Worse than The Sopranos?
Yep.
Sopranos was a classic ending. Like, I dig the Sopranos ending.
I hear people constantly bitching about it,
Yeah.
and I almost never hear anybody bitching about Dexter.
No,
and I'm guessing
then
it's
they
just
haven't
because
finished
they
the series.
erased it.
I'm gonna say it's because they stopped watching
Yeah.
after a certain
It gets
point.
to a point where you want to stop watching, but just because I knew it was finite, that there was an end that was coming, if this show was still on TV, I wouldn't watch it. Just because I knew that there was an end that I could get to was the reason that I kept watching. And the whole time I was watching it, there were there's plot holes all over the fucking place that you can't help but fall into. And you're just like, you know what? Fuck it. There's no point in asking why, because something else is going to sidetrack it right after this. It's even worse.
That's too bad.
Yeah, there are some unfortunate things, and I feel bad for some writers that do a show like that. Like, Game of Thrones is great because the books are, for the most part, already written.
Yeah, but with this most recent episode, they've already touched on something that's not in the books that all the book people are freaking out about because they're thinking that they're potentially spoiling things that haven't happened yet in the books that they're already touching on in the TV series, even though the TV series isn't to the point of the books yet.
We need to talk after this.
Okay.
Yeah, but I feel bad for people that write shows like Dexter or, you know, other shows that are kind of syndicated in a way where it's like we're going to keep going until we need to end, like until we get canceled, until we get, you know, the notice that it's our last season.
Right.
Lost.
Yeah, and they have to, like, or, you know, vice versa. They go, shit, we got to go longer. But they get into that thing where they're like, okay, fuck, how do we keep going? How do we continue?
But so you like if you get to that scenario and there is no option, you don't keep going.
You cancel yourself.
You just stop, like, no, this is how it has to end.
Yeah, there's no.
I agree with that.
Like
I-
if someone got like if Scorsese, I'm embarrassed about myself for not knowing this, but Taxi Driver, was that Scorsese?
Oh shit! If I know, like I've
Great
never watched
movies
Taxi
like that.
Driver.
We're like, you know what, this that did really well. We should do a sequel to that. It's like, no, that's it. That's the end of the. There's nothing else.
There is no Pulp Fiction 2.
Exactly.
They're not gonna refuse money. It takes a special person to say no.
Okay, yes, but there's things that yes, the almighty dollar, blah blah blah, but it gets to a point where you're like, okay, I could make another one of these, but we would lose money.
Yeah,
For
or
instance,
more so.
anything
lose respect.
Boll has directed.
Poor guy. Josh and I actually tried to watch one of his movies the other day.
Was it Blood Rain?
No, it was Assault on Wall Street with Dominic, whatever his name is from Prison Break.
Again.
He played Lincoln.
Dracula from Blade.
Yes, there you go.
Motherfucker.
And the cover of it is misleading because it shows, you know, Dominic in a suit with an assault rifle walking down a street, and it's like, oh yeah, this is going to be like something cool. This is going to be like a stand. And Josh and I watched it, and it was like, what, 40 minutes in? It's just about the guy's sick wife and how he's being constantly beat down. It was going down the road. Like, that's exactly what it was doing. It was going down the road path where it's
We're
like
gonna
just
start making meth.
depressed. Yeah, you know, get an RV or something.
But no, it was just like, by the way, your wife's cancer is gone, but her body still thinks it's there, so she needs treatments.
Yep. By the way, you're running out of money.
Yeah.
And now we're going to let you buy a lawyer, or hire a lawyer with money that your friend lent you, and that lawyer's not going to do dick. And it's like, fuck, man, really? Like, we had to watch this guy go that low?
Does
What
he
about...
get the assault rifle?
We don't know. We couldn't make it.
Yet again, another movie that could not exist in anywhere but the United States, where healthcare is stupid.
Oh, yeah, because
This was in like Canada.
in Canada, been like, your wife has cancer, but everything's going to be okay.
Yeah. Exactly. Let's all go to Bennigan's.
It'll be like Parade on Wall Street. My wife's okay.
Free coupons to Bennigan's.
Assault on Wall Street has been on my list of movies to watch.
Don't.
That has immediately dropped it off.
Yep. So sorry, U-Bolt, you lost another, but it seems like you're making more money that way. Because didn't they have something weird where like every time he fails a movie, he actually makes the money back because of some grant system?
I hope not.
I think that's the only way that he's kept making movies, unless he's independently
Maybe he's
rich.
a really
So-
good salesman.
So you're saying the producers is actually the story of Hugh Ball
It might
before
be.
Hugh Ball.
I would say expect U-Bolt's 2015 hit Springtime for Hitler.
Because wasn't that the premise of the producers, that they make more money failing a movie?
Yep.
Yep.
Oh. Or a production.
Which personally, I would rather try my hardest and fuck up a little bit than try my hardest to fuck up. Like, I don't think I can intentionally drive something into the ground. Well, actually, no. I probably could drive
Yeah, come
intentional. Yeah,
Come on.
I've got the potential to failure.
Your life.
Oh,
But could you do
that's
it so
really
that people
hurtful.
were excited for something good and then incredibly disappointed once they sat down to watch it?
like
Green
the road.
Lantern.
Green Lantern's a perfect example.
I don't care. I still like it. I'm still biased. Don't give a shit. Could be the worst movie. It could be worse than a new Bowl movie, and I'd still like it.
So I don't know if you guys heard, Zack Snyder has been announced officially for Justice League movie coming out 2018.
Yep.
I'm not sure if I'm excited about that.
Why?
Okay,
You're just mad already about the movie that's not out yet, aren't you?
no. It's not even that. It's the DC has not done well with movies, in my opinion. Besides Batman. Like, Batman's the exception to the rule. Like, every other member of the Justice League is either getting, like, shoved into this movie coming up, the Batman versus Superman movie.
Right.
It just sucks because everyone else that's in the Justice League has had a really either subpar intro, like Green Lantern, or they're just all getting shoved into this Batman versus Superman movie.
Right.
Like at the last second. Like, you got, what did they do? They just
Wonder
announced
Woman,
Cyborg.
Cyborg.
Wonder Woman's been in the works for a long time, though, right? It's
Well, no, I'm saying introduced in the Batman Superman
like-
movie. You have Wonder Woman, Cyborg, that have been cast. The Flash has not yet been cast. That is still technically a rumor.
character
Yeah.
overload.
But yeah,
So yeah, at that point, if you add Flash, then the only major Justice League that you're missing
Ollie.
is GL.
Ollie.
He's
Green
not major.
Lantern?
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds?
No. I say go Jon Stewart.
Oh, so
want
you're
the
saying,
Rock.
like, hey, sorry about that movie. Here's a different Green Lantern than what you got introduced
It's
to.
what happened with the DC versus Mortal Kombat.
And Ryan
game.
Reynolds has already
It was
written
like,
them off.
oh, hey, we're sorry about the DC versus Mortal Kombat. Here's Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. Ryan Reynolds has already written him off. He said he's not doing another one. He's holding
Yep.
out for a Deadpool script.
Yep.
That's good. I think that's the way to go for Ryan Reynolds, just because Marvel is making movie magic. Like, even I hear that Captain America 2, I personally haven't seen it,
I haven't seen it either.
wasn't like that great of a movie.
Oh, I know it's smashed box office right
Yeah, but it's still killing. And that's the whole thing is like, superhero movies are still in, but Marvel's doing it better.
yeah. Well,
Marvel's doing
they're
it.
throwing more out there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there are a lot of hits that are going out there. Like,
There aren't much that you can do with DC, though. I mean, you've got the Justice League, but once you do the Justice League,
Well, I
what
mean,
is
no,
there?
there's just as much you can do with DC as you can with Marvel. DC is just not making it happen.
Yeah.
It's the same exact stuff. A bunch of fucking superheroes, all the superheroes
Okay,
get
but-
together for a big movie.
Let's say besides the Justice League, members of the Justice League, who would you make a movie for in DC that would be like Ant-Man or Guardians of the Galaxy? What would you do?
Up front, ready? Red Hood, Nightwing. They're both in the Batman universe, but Red Hood would be an awesome fucking live action movie, especially after the animated success.
Yeah.
Or are you talking about actual like team ups that aren't the main DC people or what?
Well, no, because you've got, the Avengers, and so you've got the Justice League. Other than that, standalone movies. Who would you pick?
Just singular people?
Yeah, that aren't in the, screw the Avengers
Well,
team and
Arrow
their
is doing
standalones.
amazingly as a television series.
Yeah.
So that's one.
Blue Beetle.
Do you think that the Blue Beetle
Oh, yeah.
has that much traction with people that don't know superheroes?
Did you think Guardians of the Galaxy would pick up as much as it did for nobody knowing who the fuck it was that weren't super comic book nerds? All you need is a good trailer. at that
I knew
point.
that it would because it's got a fucking tree guy and a talking raccoon.
Doesn't matter. It could be the most awesome premise and superhero on the face of that side, Green Lantern, and still be a terrible fucking movie.
Yeah, and it's just, it's in my mind, it's more about the application that they're using. Like, Marvel has its formula. Like, it's a lot of action, a little bit of comedy, some funny jokes, and then some nice shots at other people in the series. DC seems to, like, if it's a Batman movie, the movie is only motherfucking Batman. And, like, just now they've got on the train of, like, maybe we should reference other things in the universe that are happening, too. So that's why Batman and Superman are now going to be in the same movie. Personally, I think it's because Superman didn't have his own legs. Like, he can't stand on his own.
Oh, was that
I
a Christopher
think-
Reeves joke?
Wow.
Now it is.
Honestly, I think Man of Steel stands on its own. I loved
Yeah,
it.
that was pretty fucking boss.
Anybody who's like, oh, well, Superman kills. Fuck you, go read the comic book. Superman kills all the damn time. He's not this, Boy Scout that has all these moral codes where he doesn't kill. He has killed many, many villains. So, screw that. I think it was a great movie. Visually, it was awesome. I love the destruction of Metropolis. That's what I want in a Superman movie. Because you never see that true destruction that that him fighting another Kryptonian would actually do. You never see that in any other kind of live action of that magnitude. I think it was wonderful.
I can agree. Like, it was definitely great to see Superman, like, at full force instead of, like, I'm going to catch an airplane. I'm going to take a bullet to the eye.
Fly
And
really
I miss
fast
you,
around
Lois.
the world backwards to make sure all that stuff never happens.
Yeah. Let
I'm
me
gonna
throw my
throw my
S off
S
my
at
shirt
someone.
as Josh is motioning to me.
Yeah, you want to be careful with this because if you turn your hand this way, it's going to get taken away.
I would say
wrong.
make sure that your hand's not extended at a certain angle with a little tiny mustache. Yeah, I fear that. Well, actually, that looks like about a good time to wrap up. So, hey, way to go, Hitler jokes. I'm still Patrick.
Yes, you are.
Ah, you son of a bitch. All I want is one decent sign out, goddammit. One decent
You're not
fucking
gonna
sign
get
out.
it.
Cool, like, you guys have been great, and we've been Cock Talk.
I guess we're using that.